The only difference between host is where the fukasa is tucked into the obi. If you're a female,
It's tucked in like this.
and males are gonna, and so, but otherwise, both males and females can be hosts, and they both use the fukasa to identify themselves as the host of the party.
The sign of a guest is dumped out over.
The sign of the guest has two symbols.
Tucked in the open one.
The guest has two symbols. The first is the guests will be signified with a fan placed before each of their places in the tea house, and they will also have a slightly dirty. I'll wash this.
Sorry.
Still slightly dirty.
But less so.
But less so. We'll have a small knife, and this is actually this is the full-size knife. An itty-bitty little knife,
To help
in a
cut
nice
your little
little.
snacks if you need.
But this allows you to have a small tool for snack cutting if necessary. So these are the signs of each of the guests. We've only got one set, so only me, the head guest, gets one. But otherwise, each guest will have one of those signifying their place. And guests, because, as we said, even though everybody comes into the tea house bent down the same, humble together, they sit in order of rank.
So the head guest would be the one closest to the host,
And the highest ranking.
and then so on. Speaking of guests, can we have two more? Hawkeye?
And I think our purple kimono, because she helped us out.
Yes, fabulous. Both of you come on up.
Yes. Yeah, come on up. Come on in. So we're sitting in order of rank, I'm afraid. So you're our lowest ranking guest, but
However, you're still
Higher
more
ranking
ranked
than-
than everybody else who aren't invited.
sorry. We'll invite you to the big one at the end, where we just sit and make her make tea. It's fun. So we, the guests, come and gather, and we've gathered, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we're ready to begin. I'm going to stay standing because at this point we're going to be popping up and down a lot to show and demonstrate so you can see what we're doing more easily this time.
And I'm going to stand for the same.
And she's going to stand for the same reason. So she's going to enter from, she has a small private room in the back of the tea house, separated by your standard shoji door. And so we're out here hanging out, waiting for things to begin, chit-chatting,
Basically,
whatever.
back here would be
And-
my work area. I would have all of my utensils, everything all set up nice and pretty. And there would be a nice shoji, which is the paper door between us. And I would open it,
Yeah, make sure you're comfortable.
pick up my tray, and bow slightly before I come in, pick up my tray, and then step in. And there's prescribed foot order, and at the moment I really don't remember.
Well, we can't because we don't have the right tatami mats. So there's, just like sidewalks don't step on a crack and break your mother's back, you don't step on the cracks of the tatami mats. So there's a prescribed step pattern down to left, right, how big a step you take so that you step in the right spots on the tatami mats on your way in from the back room. We can't do it here because we don't have a proper tea house, so that's part of the excuse for that. But there's literally prescribed steps. And if you notice when she was miming opening the screen door,
You open
there's
it
a
about a couple of
prescribed-
inches
with the left hand,
and then you open the rest with the right.
so even opening the doors has a prescribed ritualistic quality
Everybody
as she
does.
comes into the tea center.
All right, so I come in, I sit before my guests, and I've got my tray nice and set up. All right. So once I'm ready to begin, the first thing I do is take my fukasa out of my obi,
That's all good.
and I am going to fold it.
Fold number one. There's a lot of ritualistic folding of the fukasa.
And then I wipe my natsumi, which is the container for thin tea.
So what she's doing is ritualistically purifying, because purity is one of the tenets of the tea ceremony. So she's ritualistically purifying everything that was washed in the back room before everything began.
And
But
then
we have to see her wash it.
I fold the fukasa a second time.
2 count on the fukasa folding.
this time holding it in the hand.
And then she washes the
Chash.
I wanted to say chasen, but that's your,
No, chasen's
so
the
yeah.
chashaka.
And again, there's a prescribed count. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. So it's basically 2.5 times completely that she's wiped the cheese scoop. And now she's going to ritualistically clean the chasen, which is the little whisk. And to do that, she's going to use the serving bowl, and she pours a little bit of water in, and then basically whisks the whisk in the clean water.
A whisk, and I pick it up and inspect and make certain that there's nothing like.
Shh, you didn't hear that. So she goes, checks, inspects that it's intact once, twice.
A couple of years ago, many, many years ago,
At Connecticut, the first time we were in the convention center.
No.
Yes. The night before the tea ceremony here,
My cat decided to chew upon my tea whisk.
because it's bamboo, so it's nice and chewy, right?
So I, sanitized it, purified it as much as possible, but it was
Oiled it.
all broken. And so I'm like, yep, tongues are still broken. So yeah, I do it twice, and then whisk it a little bit, draw to a close.
So she brings it to her when she's doing the drawing to the close motion, signifying she's done with the purifying, and then she dumps out the water. There's a lot of wasted water and so forth at this point. And then she cleans the bowl ritualistically because you've just been cleaning the back room before everything starts. Wipes the rim, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4 inside. So outer,
Outer,
outer.
middle.
Okay. So again, prescribed pattern even of how the wiping goes.
All right, now my tea set is all ritually cleaned. I'm ready to make some yummy tea. So what I'm going to do first is
This is what we came for.
Okashi dozo, please help yourself to the snacks.
So once she says, help yourself to the snacks, we're serving mochi today. I turn to the person to my right in this case and say osaki ni, which basically means, sorry I'm going ahead of you. Because the Japanese are incredibly polite. So I apologize to the other guests for going before they do. And then I turn to my host and I say, chodai itashimasu, which basically says, thanks for the grub, in more polite form. So then I get to help myself to the snack. And I like mochi, so I'm going to help myself to the snack. Then I pass the bowl to the next guest. And the next guest is going to apologize to the other guests for going ahead of them. Sorry. And I'm going to join and have the snack with you. And then they're going to thank the host for the snack.
And then they get to grab a snack, enjoy it,
And pass to the last guest.
and you can eat it now.
The last guest doesn't have to apologize to anybody. She just says, thanks for the grub. And then we get to sit here and nibble on our snacks while she gets to work.
All right.
I like
Not
mochi.
quite as strong this time,
That
sorry.
was pretty, yeah, that was probably the strongest you've done in a while to me.
I know. I try to be good about that.
I don't drink tea on a regular basis, so she tries.
So in tea ceremony, is it only like little snacks? It would never be like a dinner?
No, it could be a full dinner, but it wouldn't be while the
wouldn't-
tea was being served.
Yeah, it would be between.
It'd sort of be like you'd have a
Serve
full,
that, or would you
Mhm.
have servings?
depends. There's not much space in the tea house, so she'd probably be the one serving.
Yeah.
She'd bring the plate out and say, here you go.
No, I'd probably have people bring the plates to me.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't likely be preparing it.
So somebody would come to the tea house and sort of like the tea cart butler thing. The butler would bring the tea cart over and say, here you go.
Question?
Yeah, I just saw you, like a